Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we did start playing season 32 and I have shown you a nice leveling build, leveling guide. So now I'm gonna show you a starter build. So this build is very bad. So of course the question might arise, if you are bad, why are you showing us this build? The reason I'm showing you this build is that it is because the journey reward. So when you do the journeys, chapter 2, 3 and 4, you get 2 set pieces from a certain set that is decided. I had the fullness of not looking it up. Sadly, it was Vyr, the Archon based set for Wizard. And of course, unless you get, boosted, or get a lot of help, you have to make do with the starter set for a while. Right? And if you are lucky, the starter set is the end game. Sometimes I was just taking a look at what everyone was getting in the journey, and I was going for the really good one so I wouldn't have to hunt the set. But this time around I wanted to play Wizard, my favorite and my main class, which is what I played the base game with. Anyway, let's get into it. So the journey will give us the Vyr set. It's an Archon based set. So the problem with that is I think it could be the worst set in the game because most sets work on their own, right? This set doesn't work on its own because it complements your Archon quite a lot, but it has nothing that helps you get back into Archon. So Archon is your kind of ultimate skill on Wizard. It's on a 2-minute cooldown. One of the runes brings the cooldown down to 100 seconds. The duration is 20 seconds. You put up a lot of cooldown reduction. As you can see, mine is 45%. That brings my cooldown down to 55 seconds. So 20-second duration, 55 seconds cooldown, right? It doesn't compute. You just die in between all the time. And also, these days it's a little bit traditional to for sets to provide the survivability bonus on the second bonus. So the first bonus is a nice utility bonus. The second bonus is a huge survivability bonus that makes you like 4 times or 5 times tougher generally. And the last one gives you like 100 or actually more like 500 times the base damage, and then you go crazy. The problem is the Vyr set doesn't do that. As you can see, the first bonus is that nice utility, gives us all runes. The second one gives us Archon stacks, provides something else, but it doesn't provide us with Archon stacks. And the last bonus gives us the damage, but doesn't give us the opportunity to go back into Archon, right? So whatever you do, you just can't, right? So you have to get so there are 3 items that you need to obtain. One item is this is the most important one. So when you hit with a resource spending attack like Arcane Torrent I'm using here, you get a 1 second of cooldown reduction on any of your skills, and we do not have anything with a cooldown other than the teleport and Archon, which means you shouldn't be using the teleport because then it would soak your cooldown reduction abilities. So this is a bit of a must. Right, you have to hunt for it actively, cuddle a blood shards, cube upgrades, whatever it is, right? The second piece that's required is, well, these are equal, I guess. Swami. Swami allows you to keep your Archon stacks for 20 more seconds, which means while you are getting back into Archon, you at least keep your stacks, and those provide you with a lot of bonuses, so you do survive in between. But that kind of means you have to get back into Archon mode in 20 seconds, right? If you can't, you're toast. Without the bonuses, you'll just instantly die. And the third item that's going to help is this belt, Fazula's Improbable Chain. It allows you to start with stacks in the Archon form. So, your damage gets ramped up pretty nicely because the way you gain stacks is killing enemies, and with the Vyr bonus, using abilities, so getting up to like 40s takes a long time. Starting from 40s, 50s is a huge bonus, right? So these three are the bread and butter. And for weapon, I use another cooldown reduction item. Ingeom also is useful, but Ingeom doesn't do it. Messerschmitt's River is the best one. So whenever you slay an enemy, reduce the cooldown. And that means if you are comfortable in that difficulty, that will kind of mean, you know, Archon will expire and immediately you are able to go into Archon again. So with all this cooldown reduction, I mean, is this much required? It is required because the thing is, thanks to Swami, you will keep the stacks from your Archon, right? And when you go into the Archon form again, the stacks will not stack, but you will have two separate stacks. For example, you went into Archon mode, you got 150 stacks, right? It expired, and you're able to go back into it immediately. Then you will have another 50, 60 stacks or something, right? That would hugely increase your damage. So we want to go into Archon mode as much as we can. So guys, we also want to get cooldown reduction on whatever item that we can, right? I mean, we just can't have enough. So what we are using is obviously the Vyr set, the Fuzzler's Improbable Chain. We cube these three, right? You can change this with an Ingeom if you don't have the River. River is better though. The Bracer, I'm just using something random. I mean, it can be, what's the name? Nemesis Bracers. I have it on the follower. You could have Ancient Partner Defenders that give you damage reduction for stunned enemies. I just have something random, as I said. The rings, I do have Hollow of Karini and Convention of Elements for damage. Hollow of Karini is pretty nice, gives you a nice damage reduction. I sadly have Perfect in a reverse way. The damage reduction varies from 60 to 80%, so I sadly have 60%. My amulet is bad. You want Skirt's Necklace here, which allows you to double your damage as long as you have not taken damage. So you double your damage and your damage taken gets increased by 50% as long as you have not taken damage. When you take damage, the effect gets cancelled. And for the weapon, season 32 is the season for ethereal weapons. Any of the ethereal weapons would work. I mean, there are three for each class. We do have Wizard Spike, we do have the Oculus, and we do have Mongsong's Lesson. Mongsong's Lesson is the better one. Sadly, my Mongsong's Lesson is not very good. It could have been maybe better that I used the Oculus because I got an Ingeom there. I also have cooldown reduction in there. It's up for debate. I don't think I have a very good source, so I went for this one, and that's about it. As for the skills that we use, Arcane Torrent Cascade is used to reduce the cooldown of Archon in between Archon forms. Teleport Safe Passage is for survivability and getting away. Archon Combustion, the reason I pick Combustion, so we have all runes anyway, right? Why do I pick Combustion? Because whatever rune you pick, that Archon's damage turns into that form, and we do have increased fire damage on the Bracer. That's the only reason. You could just pick whatever you want. I mean, if you have any element on your Bracer and Amulet, so my Amulet is, as you can see, very, very terrible. Sorry, what was I doing? I was taking a look at skills. Familiar Spark Flint for additional damage. Magic Weapon Deflection is for survivability. Storm Armor Scramble, I mean, it gives you some mobility, and with Hollow of Karin it gives you a lot of damage reduction. So guys, my character would have been much stronger if I had not a crappy Hollow of Karin roll. I just couldn't get another. Evocation is for reduced cooldowns. Blur is for survivability. Unstable Anomaly is to protect you from death when it happens, and Dominance gives you a shield. Yeah, I mean, there are alternatives, of course, but the thing is, guys, let me just emphasize on this. This is a transitional build, right? You do not invest in this too much. You wanna work your way up to Talrician Meteors ASAP. So if you have any bad rolls on your items, obviously reroll those, right? And grab cooldown reduction wherever you can. And the slots that you can grab cooldown reduction in is, if you use a source, you can have there. You can have it on your weapon. You can have it on your glove, shoulder, rings, and amulet. But amulet is a very precious slot, you kind of don't want the cooldown reduction there. For amulet, you want elemental damage, socket, crit chance, and crit damage, because it can roll higher than the other slots. So for example, guys, rings can roll 6 crit chance and 50 crit damage. Amulets can roll 10 crit chance and 100% crit damage. Amulets are quite unmatched in that, so that's what you want. And mine is a little bit shameful. Just couldn't get anything. As for the follower, guys, so follower will have the undying token. You can just craft a token and upgrade it to legendary with the cube recipe for that. And you should have stuff that emanates, nemesis bracers, Kratos flame, no big deal. This weapon is nice, freezes, helps you out. This is to prevent repair costs. This is give you gems, just random item. This is of course extremely important. Pylon durations go double. This is very useful. These emanate, I mean, it will help you in rifts if you ever do solo rifts. Yeah, so normally, guys, you should of course give strength to the Templar, and you know, mage is a wizard is a intelligence based character, so the Templar is not up to par. I think you have to go like 10,000 strength or so on the Templar, so his abilities can be maxed out. Let me also now show you the build. So also, guys, the build sucks pretty hard, and that's why I suggest not investing. It is very weak. It cannot go really high. So I was, you know, half crying when I reached level 75 Great Rift solo. Level 75 is important, guys, because it allows you to enter Torment 16 public games. So you can, you know, team up with the strongest players, and they are so strong, it doesn't really matter if you are a little bit weak when you are playing with them, because they just blast through stuff. So the character is on such a level now, so my build is okay, right? It's not very good. It can be improved, of course, but it's not very good. But for example, I can very barely do Torment 16, and I can definitely not do split bounties, right? I mean, Torment 16 4-man game, I just can't do that, right? I had to do lower level of bounties. It's a little bit disgraceful at this point, but I mean, let me just show you a 70. Try my luck.
I wish you luck, hero.
So this should be smooth, but also if I...
Still waiting.
So shouldn't get very cocky. So guys, it's very important that you get kills, because the kills reduce your cooldowns. So I am more focused on the kills and gives you stacks, right? So I should hopefully be able to go back into Archon again. No, I'm not. See the ability that saves me from killing triggered. That maybe was my mistake, but yeah.
Need more time.
So edit is down. So as you can see, I have two different stacks, 110 and 94. The 110 expired now. So it is pretty important that I get kills again, so the Archon cooldowns can come back up again. And as you can see, there is some sort of explosion. That is one of the Archon runes. It does do pretty nice damage, so getting close. I think I have forgotten to talk about the gems. I would say
Need more time.
don't invest on the gems. Just do, you know, proper wizard gems, and you know, this will benefit from them, you know, to some extent. I mean, definitely do not invest in this one, right? If this is temporary, for sure.
I am so good. I astound.
So this is the difficulty that gives you the primal, your first primal legendary, and also allows you to drop them. So getting 70 done ASAP is important,
Still waiting.
because guys, that's some sort of unlock activity. If you haven't done Great Rift 70 solo, you can't get primal charge, right? Your account would be locked that way, and after you do that, you can get them from anywhere, right? People get confused, you know, you can gamble them from Kadala, you can, find them. They can drop from bounty bags, you can cube them, whatever works, right? I mean, any way of obtaining a legendary works.
I astound myself. Need more
Yeah,
time.
power. So as you can see, because I am killing quite a lot of monsters, I have a lot of stacks, and also I can go back into Archon immediately.
If only they could see me now.
But it's not always sunshine and daisies like that. And of course, when you're fighting the boss, it's a bit of a problem, right? Because in the boss there won't be too many ads to kill, right? If you can't kill the boss with the first one, and it's good, yeah, because this is, obscenely bad, guys. So I haven't gone in detail over all the sets in the game, but this feels like, quite the worst one by far. And as a journey set, it is terrible because it is, quite dysfunctional without that ring, obsidian ring of the zodiac.
My power grows.
The Rift
Okay, so
Guardian
we
is
are here.
arrived.
Try to stick in these zones. If you have an Oculus ring on the follower, they give, something like
My
double
lives are
damage.
full.
Okay, my blood shards are actually full.
My name is Urshi, and like Auric, I once served the ancient Nephilim. When the champions of ages past had proven themselves, I would attempt to improve the clarity of one of their gems. If you have a gem of sufficient quality, I may be able to help you.
Okay. So the gems that we are using are the classic wizard ones, I would say. Bane of the Trap, which is getting used for every single damage build in the game, I think. Okay, we can make an altar progression here. Okay.
I need to go back.
Gives you, damage output. So in Diablo, guys, if something provides you with bonus damage in a unique way, their damage gets multiplied. So for example, guys, let's take a look. What does it say? Increase damage against enemies under the effects of control, impairing effects by 24%. Because there is nothing like this, right? This just is flat 24% damage, right? So if your final damage output is going to be 100 million, with this one it goes to 124 million, which is insane. Multiplicative bonus, very useful. This one is the same. I mean, the further you are away from the enemy, the more damage you deal. It's also pretty good. Zaystone of Vengeance. And finally we have Stricken. So this Stricken is used for builds that suffer to kill bosses, and sometimes elites. You deal more and more and more damage over time, which will allow you to eventually kill. Okay, well, let me also show you a 75 and then we can call it done. This might be problematic. I could even die.
Wish you luck, hero.
Still waiting.
See, already at 75 kills are slow. And if I can't kill, I can't go back into Archon form. I have to stay out of Archon form longer, and that would kill me very bad. Let's go. I mean, I don't think... See how bad it is. And this is with the Archon stacks. Keep in mind.
Need more
If
time.
I don't have Archon stacks, the weakest hit is going to kill me. We have some. So the reason that my damage has improved quite a bit in here is
Still waiting.
because I have double stacks at the beginning, and that allowed my stacks to go up. So we were able to kill the elite. That's good.
Need more time. How does that feel?
So we want to get as many kills as we can, so the Archon is up or is about to be up by the time it ends. So guys, weak trash. We actually like weak trash. So we could kill them and go back into Archon again, as seen in the example.
Didn't see that coming,
And of
did
course,
you?
the initial burst is pretty useful
Still waiting.
in getting a few kills in. I mean, it does a lot of damage, as you can see. The pylons are very, very welcome. We go in this zone as much as we
If my
can.
old masters could see me now.
And as you can see in the Archon form, they are very survivable. I'm not gonna say immortal, they can kill. Even at 75 sadly,
More
they
time.
can
I'm
kill.
so good. I'd astound myself.
So the only reason I'm showing you this build is because, as I said, it's the journey set. And you have to make do with this for a while. Definitely do not invest extra. So I think doing this later is 75, which is what I did,
If only they could see
is I
me
think
now.
very good enough.
Need more time.
I mean, you could do, of course, a few rerolls. Let's say if your legs doesn't have vitality, of course, do 1 or 2 rerolls to get the thingy.
Still waiting.
So guys, if it's all sunshine and daisies, right, we can kill a lot of monsters, we do not need that much cooldown reduction. But as you can see, sometimes I just cannot get back into it, and that cooldown reduction I have is saving me quite a bit. In the helmet, we have
Need more time.
diamond socketed for cooldown reduction, so we can get back into the platform quickly. In our
Still waiting.
armor, we will have topaz for more intelligence and more damage, because the build cannot reach the places that you need to socket diamond in anyway.
Not ready yet.
I wonder if the game sounds let me know please if it is. I will need to turn it down a little bit for future
Still
videos.
waiting.
And don't be stingy with the Archon, guys. So it is, of course, annoying to use it when there is not a big enough density, but at higher stages you just cannot survive when you are not in the Archon form. Even with the stacks, as you saw, you can survive a very short while. That's why all that cooldown reduction is required.
I become more powerful.
And make sure to pop this balloon that I have. It slows down missiles, very useful. Okay, so 75 also
See me
went
now.
pretty nice. Suppose I did get a little stronger. But of course, guys, the setup of the rift is extremely important as well. What kind of monsters are there? Where are the pylons? That kind of stuff changes. So I mean, you could, fail to do a rift and then you could, face roll it.
I am
It can't
so
change
good.
that
I
much.
astound myself. Not ready yet.
But I mean, I don't think I would fail 75. Let's go back into it. That should be
I am more stronger still.
getting this done-ish.
You dare attack me?
See, 113 stacks and 134 stacks. My damage is 9.5 million. And let me show you how much it is without the stacks. How much of a difference it makes.
You have triumphed.
There is improvement, guys. As you can see, I did it in 5:30, and my previous record was 8 minutes. So this is, I think, the third time I'm doing this. I think I first did it in 12 minutes, barely, so I could, get in.
I am skilled at clarifying gems.
Get in the Torment 16 public games, and I did stop a while after that, right? I tried to progress the Ultra and whatnot. Yeah, so there are subtle changes. Of course, it is going to get more powerful, but what I'm saying is it doesn't need to get more powerful. we should transition immediately into the meteor build. So I kind of have it. I'm just missing a key passive from the ethereal weapons. So ethereal weapons have one passive, right? But they don't have all the passives. They pick it from a pool. So I need to roll the right passive on the weapon. Then I think I have it done. And guys, in Diablo 3 the builds are so powerful, right?
I am
So
returning to town.
the strongest builds, the stronger build with the most horrible items possible, right? I mean, every roll is bad, let's say, is still going to be much more powerful than the weakest build in its strongest form, right? I mean, just having the right items does an insane amount of work. So this build is, I mean, yeah, the bracer is up for discussion. The amulet is up for discussion, and that kind of also gives away how bad the build is, because the really good builds, there is zero room for more, right? Every single thing is decided, right? I mean, that boots, that legs, you have to cube that one. I mean, you have to pick between varying and cubing a few items, but that's the only variance that you have. It is rock solid, and you cannot change anything. So that's about it, guys. And if you do not have an ethereal, they do take quite some time to drop it. They drop for me quite a little bit late. You can do the Chantoto set, or if you have nothing, just use the best weapon that you have alongside with the source. Two-handed I wouldn't suggest very much, but maybe you could use furnace for 50% increase elite damage. That's about it for the Archon Wizard, Vyr Wizard, and see you in the next, and hopefully with a proper build. Bye bye.